So this is a pretty weird video to make as a guy that talks about money on YouTube, investing, passive income, and I also make a lot of money talking about money. And I got to my goal to have this much money by this age, and I actually got there, but I did 5 times as much as I actually thought by the age of 19 or so. So why would I make a video telling you, hey guys, money's pretty cool, but it's not the only thing, and here are free things that actually make you happy. Free things, not 3 things, just free things. It's kind of like when you go to a restaurant and the waiter tells you, hey, I know you want this dish and it's pretty expensive, but if you actually got these dishes right here, it would actually be more food for all of you guys. You could actually save money. Now, all of a sudden, that seems to be counter interest for that person, but they're actually helping you, and that makes you be able to trust them. Now, I'm not making this video to manipulate you and for you to think Tommy is such a trustworthy guy, but I'm making this video for you guys because when I was on my way to financial freedom, when I was on my way to making money and all this stuff, I thought a lot more different than I think today. I was single focused and I didn't realize that there are a lot more things about money that I did not know. And here's what I learned, okay? In this video, I'm gonna tell you everything I learned. I'm gonna tell you the things that are actually free in life, what actually makes you happy, and how to use money to actually make you happy. Again, it's more of a video that I know maybe like 1,000 people, 2,000 people would actually watch this video, but it's one of those videos that if you watch it all the way through, you'll thank me later when you actually get to your mission or your goal, because you'll get there and you actually feel like, wow, I did it correctly. You won't get there and say, well, there are still things I need to fix, because that's not really what you want, okay? So one thing when it comes to money, guys, is money doesn't change you, it just reveals who you actually are. Money isn't going to fix all your problems, but when you have no money problems, what it does do, it shows you all the problems that you actually have, like that don't involve money. On top of that, it reveals what actually makes you happy. And lastly, it shows you exactly what you're missing out in life. You know, whenever you're stressed out about money, when you're living paycheck to paycheck, you don't have any time to worry about like, oh my gosh, this thing and this thing. No, you just worry about making enough to pay the bills, and that becomes your singular focus. But when you remove the money problems in life, everything that's left is everything else. Now, this is not a sad video because I don't like making sad videos, but it is a real video that is going to help you. And I wish I would have seen before I started my whole wealth journey and actually got here, okay? So as always, guys, like this video, on top of that, also subscribe and hit the bell so you get notified. Now, the very first thing, guys, that I learned is this, that when it comes to money and happiness, you know, a lot of the times we focus on making money, and then being like, eventually I'll be able to do things that actually make me happy. But I learned that you can actually do both. And I learned that from a book, and it's called Edgar T. Harv, The Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. That's the book right there. And he goes into detail saying, when you think about problems, when you think about things you want to do, always try to figure out a way to actually do both, because money is not going to make you more happy. Or on top of that, if all you want is money, if all you want is wealth, more than often you won't make it. And here's why. Because money by itself in a capitalist society involves a person that is willing to serve. So if you are willing to serve and it's not about you, but it's about serving other people, the answer is you will get rich, because if you serve a lot of people, you'll get rich because you're getting paid for that, obviously. But if you're only willing to worry about yourself and it's me, you probably will not get there. And that's why so many people that just want money for themselves but don't worry about what they can do for others, they never actually achieve anything. And that's even in the Bible. You know, Jesus said, I did not come here to be, what is it? To be served. I came here to serve, okay? And that's pretty powerful stuff. And lastly, after watching a TED Talk, it actually simplified what are the things that actually make you happy in life. And you know, in this study, they showed basically a bunch of different young men, and they kind of followed them out throughout life. But initially, in the beginning, these young men just thought that happiness came from fame, being like respected and all this stuff. But in reality, it came down to one simple factor, and that is basically just safe relationships. And that's what basically makes you the most happy, and that's also free. You know, having safe relationships isn't gonna come down to I have a lot of money, so now I have a lot of friends, because usually those friends are not real friends, they're just there for the money, and when that goes, they also go with the money, okay? But having safe relationships, that makes it a lot better. And my big mistake, and here's where you know exactly where my mistakes are, so this way you don't make it. When I was so singularly focused, for example, on making money, just focus on that one thing, by the time I actually got to see my dad, because I made the sacrifice to just focus on that singular focused item, when I actually got the chance to see my dad, I saw him at a funeral because I couldn't take a break to go basically see him when he was sick. You know, when I was so worried about money, focused on that single thing, I was kind of complacent in all other aspects of my life and was willing to kind of be complacent with not so great relationships and not so great people in my life, okay? So when there's this thing we say in dominoes, okay? So if you guys never played the game dominoes, it's like a game where you have different cards, but they're like in concrete. It doesn't matter, okay? But there's this saying that says whenever a person is very good in one aspect, just one aspect, they usually lack in other places. You can usually exploit those things, okay? What it basically means is when you think about being a person, you want to have it all, okay? You want to be really greedy. And I'm never ever shy about saying this. I am very greedy. I want wealth. I want health. I want to be happy. I want to have love. I want to have a great relationship with God. I want every single aspect of life, and I want it all, okay? And that's exactly what you should shoot for. And it's not like focus on this one thing. It's more like forget about balance. Balance does not exist. Forget about the idea that I'm going to focus 50% on making money and then the other half on being happy. Forget about that. Just focus on being present in the moment when those opportunities actually pop up. When you're working, be at work. When you're with family, be with family. My biggest recommendation is focus on building worthwhile relationships, because those are the things that are actually going to matter. And if you think that money is going to make you happy, it's like trying to chase the wind. You can never really catch it, because when you make a certain amount of money, there's more money to be made because you're always printing money. And when you're only competing to make money, there's always someone out there that's going to make more money than you. And there's always somebody else that's building behind you that's actually catching up to you. So it's a never ending game. The reason I play the money game is not for the sense of I want to beat somebody else. It's for what money can basically do for me, in the sense that it just makes my life a little bit more easier. And that's about it. But there's no love of money in my life. Now, number two is this, guys. When I say that usually everything in life is free, I mean, for example, work can be like negative free, in the sense that if you actually pick something you enjoy for work, and by the way, this is actually a pretty cool concept, but it's also very unrealistic. And here's why. Because for the most part, yes, I enjoy my work here. When I come on here, I learn something new. I try to share with you guys and teach it to you guys. And I spend hours here to make this thing happen. And I love it. And I feel like I'm actually not working, but it's not every day that I love my job per se. But if you can get paid to do something you actually enjoy, that's awesome. But when I was actually building up to this, I had multiple jobs that I hated. And that's fine, because it's all a part of the seasons in life. So it's okay to work a job you hate, but it's not okay to live in a job you hate forever, because that just sucks, okay? So you should always have a plan. You should always be working on something on the side if you hate your job, to actually build it up to something that you actually enjoy and you actually like. But a lot of people, their response is, I can't make that happen. I can't do that. So I'm just going to be kind of hateful towards other people and say, well, that's not possible. It's only doable for you because you don't have any kids, or you don't have this, you don't have that. But the main focus, or you have too much time, but the main focus on is basically there's always time, okay? You just have to make the time. You have to make that block of time to work on what you actually want. You know, life about development is not about staying like just in one place and then complaining that you're not actually doing anything, okay? That makes no sense, okay? Now, number two is also, for example, exercise. For me, the things that make me happy, put on a pair of sneakers and just going for a run or running or working out, whatever, that makes me happy. On top of that, experiences with friends, whether it's free ones, going for a walk, conversations, or whether it's paid ones, going to a restaurant, going to a park, going to a baseball game, which I don't like at all. But those are things that can actually make you happy. Experiences. You know, I also saw another TED Talk which talked about this guy. He decided not to spend any money like forever, like for a year, okay? He said, I don't want to spend any money on stuff for a year. But then he started spending money on actual services. Instead of spending money on stuff, like products, like iPhones and computers and all this stuff, he started spending money on experiences, going out with friends, buying dinner, like going to concerts, listening to music and all this other stuff. And that showed a large improvement in his life and also in his relationships. Again, life is about relationships, and it's not about, for example, damaging your financial health in order to retain friends. That's just stupid, in the sense of like, I'm gonna spend money on these activities so I can sustain my friends. That's stupid. Don't do that. But it's in the sense of like, figure out a way to do both. And a lot of the times when I first started out, my budget for fun was like what was it? I think it was like $10 a week or something like that, and that's fine. Like, I figured out a way to do it, which is basically I went out to eat at Starbucks like once a week, or I went out to Chipotle and I got some guac on my stuff. Okay, there's a lot of ways to have fun with your friends and just kind of like enjoy the whole ride. So here is an exercise I want you guys to do. Okay, I want you guys to write down all the ways and all the things that all the things you actually do that make you happy. What are those things that when you're doing them, like, time kind of like doesn't exist anymore? What are the activities that you do with your friends where you just have a bunch of fun? What are all those things that don't involve stuff and don't involve you just being by yourself? Like, I'm talking about relationships. And by the way, I think a large part of why I'm making this video is because in America, there's a lot of depression, man. Like, a lot of people are just like loners. No one has friends. Like, not no one has friends, but a lot of people don't have any friends. A lot of people's lives is just on social media. And my job is here on social media, and I make videos. And at a certain point in my life, when I was obese, when I was just making money, and I was just like, for example, just focusing on this one thing, I was also super unhappy. So I think it's a video that where I mentioned like money is a cool thing and is awesome. Everyone should shoot for financial freedom, but it's not the only thing. It should also be about being happy and enjoying the whole process and enjoying the whole journey. And I think it's better to get there on time, per se, than it is to get there sooner but have to pay an expensive price. But overall, guys, that's pretty much it for this video. And in a sense, you know, what changed me the most was like God, giving my life to God and all that stuff. But overall, you know, tomorrow we'll be back to the regular money talk stuff. But one thing I want to remind you is you can always figure out a way to do both. Rich people figure out a way to do both. If you want to get wealthy, don't just say I want wealth, but I don't want the health, because you don't want to be rich and obese. Don't just say, well, I want wealth and I also want to look fit, but I'm pretty unhappy. Want everything. Be greedy in life. You know, you don't have to make the most money. You don't have to do everything out there, but you should do as much as you can. You should rest as long as you need to get right back up. That's the thing in life, okay? So that's it. It's a weird video, I know, but I really just wanted to make it, and that's why I made it. Because at the end of the day, I think a video like this would have saved me a lot of heartaches, in the sense of like being able to see my dad, being able to walk out of relationships that weren't really benefiting, being able to focus on the relationship that I actually needed to basically focus on, work on my body, work on my health. And also, I probably would have made even better content, you know, because, you know, you make better content when overall you're just happier in life, okay? I think so. I think so for the most part. But that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Comment down below money, so I know you made it all the way to the end of the video. And don't confuse this video, because someone might watch this video and say, Tommy, I hear you. You're saying YOLO, right? I'm not saying YOLO, bro. I'm saying do both. I'm saying work on financial freedom, also enjoy life, have relationships, and know what the whole point of this life actually is. So for me, shout out to God. God is first as always. And money stuff is cool. Relationships are cool, but I want everything, okay? Be greedy in this life, all right? And being greedy is not a negative thing. Depends what type of greed you're actually doing, all right? All right, that's it. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, hit the bell so you're notified. Comment down any questions. Up here is another video. Over here is my Facebook, subscribe. And as always, long-term team officially